What's up, Buttercups? It's me, Amy Young, coming at you with a Friday freestyle. Yay! I was thinking about a really meaningful conversation that I had about 2 years ago this time, when I was still living in New York, when I was still bartending, when I was just getting started with coaching, when I had just made the decision that I wanted to leave New York and that I was going to be moving back home to work on building my business and my coaching practice and yada, yada, yada. And I remember at that time feeling kind of conflicted and confused because I had a really wonderful life in New York that I loved. And it felt like I was walking away from a lot to work on this whole new picture for my life. I had really amazing friends in New York. I mean, people that are like lifelong friends to me. I had a really great gig at my restaurant job. Like, that restaurant was like a family and a community for me in so many ways. The city was an exciting place to be. I had lived there my whole adult life. Like, it was a big change, right? And something kind of interesting happened when I decided, okay, I'm actually gonna move. And I started telling people about it. Suddenly I felt like I was really loathing the city more than I ever had before. Like, it was almost as if once I decided that I'm leaving, then I suddenly felt like, okay, well, I have to hate it here in order to justify my leaving. Like, I have to build up a case in my mind for why it makes sense for me to leave. And it has to be like at a level 10 awful for it to be justified. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense, right? Because if I'm happy here, if I love my friends, if I love my job, if I love my life, and gosh, if I could build my coaching practice here, I could continue to build my online presence here, I could do all of that, then what's the point in me leaving? I felt like I had to hate it. And I started getting so turned off by everything about New York. And I remember I was working like a lunch shift at the restaurant one day. I was bartending, and a woman from the neighborhood came in, and she was a regular. I had a relationship with her, and we'd like chatted before. And she sat down and was like, I heard that you're moving, like you're gonna leave New York. And I was like, yeah, and I started like listing out all of these reasons for why I was doing it. And I was like, and I just feel like it's what makes sense and stuff. And she was like, I get it. You don't have to explain, like you want to do something different, that makes sense. We'll miss you, but like, it's what's right for you. And I was like, wow, okay, cool. I don't have to explain it. Like, she was just sort of like, I get it. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of funny. I feel like since I started telling people that I'm going to leave, I sort of feel like I have to like, explain what it is, because like I am really happy here and I do have a good life here and I'm very thankful for everyone that I know. And she was like, yeah, I get it, She started explaining that she's felt that way before. Specifically, she shared that, when she was getting ready to go through her divorce, that she was in a fine marriage. It was an okay marriage. She loved her husband. She wasn't in love with him anymore, but he was a good man. He was a good dad, but she knew that the marriage wasn't right for her. And she knew that long term, it wasn't going to be good for both of them anymore. And she told me, I felt like it had to be so miserable and awful and unbearable for me or for my kids or for all of us in order to make the decision that I was making. She was like, I felt like I had to, exactly what I said. She was like, I felt like I had to make a case for why I wanted to make that change, when in reality, I just knew it wasn't right for me. I knew it wasn't right for me anymore, and that could have been reason enough. But I felt like I had to convince myself and convince all these other people, no, it's so wrong, it's so wrong, in order for it to be justified or for it to make sense. And we kind of just started talking about how funny that is, that we do that like we think something needs to be at a level 10 terrible in order for us to want to improve it. Like it has to get so bad before it's justified. And yeah, I think that we do this in job situations. I think that we do this in relationships. Gosh, probably with our health sometimes, if something's bothering us, we might think, oh, like me, I'm having an issue with my knee right now, and I'm going to the doctor and getting it checked out. And I was thinking like, well, I want to go and get it taken care of early on. It's like preventative medicine, right? Because I don't want to wait until it's so bad that like I wake up one morning and I can't walk downstairs, or like my hip gets messed up because I'm compensating constantly. Like I want to get it taken care of early. But for some reason, when it comes to preventative maintenance in our lives, it can feel like, no, it needs to get really, really bad before I'll wake up to the fact that I have to make a change or that something isn't right anymore. And I guess this is sort of piggybacking off of what I talked about last week, but I want us all to really invest in this idea that something doesn't have to be miserable or exhausting. We don't have to achieve complete burnout and breakdown before we realize that something's wrong. If you have an inkling or a sense or like a whisper of intuition saying like, this isn't right for me, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm tired, this feels like a struggle, I want my life to feel mo better, that can be reason enough to make a change. And that can be reason enough for you, and it can absolutely be reason enough for anybody else. You don't have to make a case. You don't have to wait for things to get awful. You don't have to absolutely loathe the entire experience before you start looking for ways to improve it. I would recommend we get on that preventative maintenance train a little bit earlier. I wish that I'd realized that sooner, that I don't have to hate something for it not to be right for me. I don't have to be absolutely just beside myself in misery and unhappiness before I switch gears and start making different choices. So tune in a little bit earlier if you can. Notice what's irksome and troublesome to you right now, so that it doesn't have to get worse. You can save yourself so much time and difficulty. Things don't have to suck before you make that change. That's my freestyle today. A little trip down memory lane, something that I continue to remind myself of. And I hope it's helpful to you. I wanted to quickly address that I have been playing around with the idea of switching up the Friday freestyle format and doing kind of more formulaic, structured, edited type videos similar to what I do on Mondays. But so many of you will send me messages and emails telling me how much you love the freestyles just as they are, just like these single cut videos, that I would really love your feedback if you could comment below. If you like it just being the way that it is, just a simple talky vlog, let me know. If you would be open to or would like it to be more kind of fast and fun, you can comment that too. I would really love to get your feedback, because gosh, these videos are just so simple and fun for me to get to do, to just kind of sit down and have a conversation, but I want to know what you would really like. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. If you want to join my mailing list, you can head to amyyoungcoaching.com. The link is in the box below, and you can sign up there. I'll visit your inbox every Wednesday. I would love to connect with you that way. And until next time, lots of kisses, take care, and I'll see you. Insecure. insecurities are like those 7 dwarves. They're this little package deal of unique personality types and quirks that we have to coexist with in this tiny cabin in the woods that is called our life.